offer the best grooming methods for you. It's all natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be a swagger, style, class, and luxury. Make our products that are made for you with high quality, yeah. So get in style with the black, yeah. Company. Give you swagger, style, class, and luxury, yeah. Black, gentleman, yeah. Company, give you swagger, style, class, and luxury, yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com. Yo. What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back, welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman, our Sunday morning call in for this Sunday, March 2nd, 2025. This is number 156 in the series of call-ins, and we are here to talk about the fight cards that took place yesterday, hopefully with some participation, and we're calling this episode Tank Bends the Knee. Yeah! Did you think that we would just gloss over that, or maybe even skip past that page in boxing history? Absolutely not. You see, every man has to carry his own burden, huh? And you know that Tank has thrown a lot of, let me rephrase that. He has flung a lot of poop, huh? But sometimes flinging poo, it gets on you. Yeah! So, with that being said, good morning, huh, everyone? How y'all doing this morning? I hope you woke up in your right frame of mind and ready for some boxing talk, man. We had some exciting matches take place yesterday, and a little bit of history, a little bit of reiteration of what goes around, huh? That and then some. But yeah, good morning, everybody. And I hope that we can get through this in a proper way, huh? Yeah, in a proper way. Because I'm going to tell you something. As much as I love the sport of boxing, I really love for people to go back and look at and take note of what they've seen in the past and learn how to apply that to what's happening presently, and then to have a greater outlook on the future. But there's a process in doing that. There's a process. It's not something that you can just gloss over. As many people do, they gloss over things. But you have to be a study, a quick study. There was a fight card that took place in Belfast earlier. The Crocker versus Donovan card. A Matchroom promotion with Lewis Crocker and Paddy Donovan competing for the IBF welterweight eliminator, which meant that the winner would go forward and be the number one contending challenger for Jaron Boots Ennis's IBF welterweight title. This wasn't something that a lot of people was interested in, and I used it as an opportunity for myself to come on in there, do a fight call on it. It's up on the page. I did a fight call on that yesterday, but something very interesting happened in that fight, and I talked about it in the post-fight show, and I talked about it during the live. Sometimes in boxing, the officials get it right. Paddy Donovan, who was the favorite in that fight, even though both fighters going in were undefeated, was DQ'd due to a series of fouls, including a knockout punch that landed after the bell in the 8th round, a round in which Donovan had already incurred a point deduction for the second time for fouls. So the referee, Marcus McDowell, disqualified him, and rightfully so. On the surface, it could have appeared controversial, but because Paddy was fighting with such undisciplined actions, he left the ref no choice, and the ref, salute to him, stepped up and did his job and DQ'd the man. We saw last night Gervonta Tank Davis take a voluntary knee, and referee Steve Wills was started to count and then stop and then let the guy get up and go to his corner and everything. We saw Lamont Roach asking him, hey, keep on counting, what you doing? Willis dropped the ball. You see, we had two situations in one day that showed how officiating can be appropriate and proper, exemplifying dignity within the sport, whether you're the name guy or not. And then we saw the other side, which seemingly has a tremendous grip and hold over the Western market, I will say in particular. Oh yeah, I'm going there. You see, because we live in the land of make-believe over here, where everything is not quite what it seems. The stars that you see aren't in the sky. They're the ones that they put in front of your eye, and they try to tell you to worship them up high. But as far as achievement, ability, ethic, virtue, they have 9. Yeah! See, this is what it is. The reality. A lot of people don't want to deal with that. But when you come around these parts, that's exactly what I'll put in your face, huh? Yeah. Because the truth, though sometimes painful, is necessary. And we deal with so much evil. It's a necessary evil in which we need to address. We need to have someone stand as a disciplinary boundary between doing things proper and not. So yeah, we're here for that this morning. We are here for it all. Absolutely. So, phone lines are open. Let me go up here and see if I could do a quick roll call and see who we got in the building. We got a few people out here. My brother Drew Titan, early in the building. Universal Truth, Eric Jordan, K-Rod, Ravens Nation, Boxing Barbecue, Ty Swindle, Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. What's good with you all? Okay, we got 518 in the building. Who's calling?
Hey,
what's on your mind? What's happening?
Hey, how's it going, Stormy? It's K-Rod calling.
K-Rod, what's good with you?
Not much. Had a fun night last night, and it was a crazy night. I can't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, before I get into the tank situation with the card and the other fight cards, I just wanted to make one particular point about what you said about the refereeing, officiating. As far as fights that I've watched in the past, there's been certain situations where like in other parts of the world, I'll just use a certain example. I watched one boxing fight that was sent to me through a friend. I want to say at least 6 months ago, where there was a fight held in Africa, and what ended up happening was that the fighter that should have won the fight, he knocked out his opponent, and what ended up happening was that the fight alone got overturned to be a loss against the fighter that was supposed to win by KO. And the commission, and I want to say about the referee, they basically just disqualified the fighter for simply getting the knockout victory. And I just wanted to point that out there, that I think in terms of refereeing for officiating, I think referees should be penalized for working against a fighter's interests that's trying to win a fight. And certain people that do bad things like that should be given a bad reputation, so therefore referees can't be trusted for big fights like that.
Oh, you mean like Jack Reese?
Yeah. Everybody. If you continue to do fraudulent activity as a referee in boxing, you should be penalized. And if you continue to do more bad refereeing, that should completely ban you from ban you from the sport of boxing.
Yeah, like Tom Thayer.
Yeah, everybody.
It's not everybody, but what I'm trying to say in the most cynical way is that there have been pawns placed in situations and allowed to thrive. We had a discussion, myself and some brothers from the community, that we were thinking about Mr. Willis, and we said, hey, we need to see him in more fights, right? Because he's a decent referee. Now, what happened is, just in the past month and a half or so, he's had 2 horrible outings. The heavyweight fight that he officiated on Clarissa Shields' undercard, that was disgraceful. And now this situation last night, that was not only on an international broadcast, but every person, whether you were at the event or watching it on pay-per-view or however you got a chance to witness the action, saw you look about as incompetent or on the take, whichever one may want to decide to choose, because it's that obvious. When I spoke about it being something in the Western world, yeah, there are things that are going on in other parts of the world and they get away with it because it's not on display in a small circle of eyes, where, like what you gave the example of in Africa or whatever, wherever that fight and that event took place with those actions. But you see, you have people like myself who have gone on each and every time that I witness something, that I experience it for myself. I have something to say about it, but I don't get the support that I'm supposed to get. It's not enough of that. People who, even in the instance of what transpired last night in Brooklyn, people are going to try to find ways to cover that up instead of speaking on it, so the pressure would be on to get it right. You see, and that's where you accuse people of being on the take or having sold themselves out, in order to be inclusive, a part of D&I, so to speak. See, and that's, I don't like all of that kind of stuff, because what it does is it compromises ethics. And I am not that person. I speak about it almost every time I go live with what YouTube is trying to do to me. But I don't see anybody out there fighting a battle for me. But you got people who will damn sure go to bat for the foolishness to make sure that that maintains. Where's integrity at? Where's virtue? Where's ethic? Where do you draw the line? There was once a film called Indecent Proposal, where the synopsis was simply like, what would you do to disregard your values, morals, ethics, or whatever? What price can be put on it? Today, it's over a freaking chicken bone, that these people do things. So now, what are you talking about? But, like I said, there were two examples from both ends of the spectrum yesterday. The Crocker-Donovan card and the card that we saw last night with Davis versus Roach. And people need to see it for what it is. Stop following the individual. Follow the sport as a whole and demand integrity, because you're the people that pay the ticket at the door, the admission. You're the people that buy the event on television. You're the people that buy the apps in which these events are shown. Shouldn't you want quality for the money that you pay? When you go to buy groceries, are you getting the spoiled bananas and tomatoes? The loaf of bread that expires in 2 days? Milk that is already a week past the expiration date? Do you do that? Hell no, you don't. So why should it be different in other avenues of your life? Why? See, that's all. I'm here to raise that question. But there's no answers. No answers. And before I get too far into the conversation, let me acknowledge a Cash App from the brother EJ. He says, Patty new name is Patty, the big baby mayonnaise. Appreciate you, EJ. Thank you for your donation, brother, to the Cash App. But go ahead, K-Rod.
Yeah, I agree. Consumers should have the ultimate say to demand their money back if there is a poor product that they're being given or it's not being honored to the highest quality. I remember one time when I paid for the Edgar Berlanga versus Angulo fight, and I remember when I was there at the event, once Edgar Berlanga bit Angulo, a lot of people were basically trashing Berlanga, and they were basically saying man, I didn't pay all this money just to see Berlanga do this, blah blah blah. And I was just telling everybody I didn't even want to stay for the whole event, but I just basically was just dude, I'm not wanting to pay for this again. But that's really if that was to be a much larger audience to say okay, for this example with Gervonta Davis, if everybody knew that Tank lost and Tank was not giving us what we wanted and what we paid for, then the consumer should be getting their money's worth back, because it's I don't want to be coming back for this, and let the promotion that held it, they should be held accountable for giving a poor product for the consumer.
Yeah, and Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield in their rematch. And he did it regardless of where he tried to use the excuse that Evander Holyfield was headbutting him. If you go back and watch the original fight, Mike Tyson intentionally headbutted Holyfield several times in the fight, elbowed him, hit him low, and also hit him after the bell. But it's interesting that we saw similar characteristic traits in the performance of Tank last night, except the biting. But when someone who's not adept and being professional and don't have the tools of the trade or the psychology to deal with the pressures of the trade, they resort to these type of tactics. Now, the person with their buying dollar don't know that this is what they're getting when they plop that money down. But all you have to do is show me one time, and then I'm aware. I remember Berlanga biting that guy, and I remember saying that that's it for him. He goes not beyond that point, because in a moment of where he was being tested, he looked for a way out. Every fighter knows if you foul, you can be disqualified. Every fighter knows that. Now, that doesn't mean upon the first infraction that you're immediately out, but they do know that they can do those type of tactics, and what it will allow is for them to have room to play as they began to prepare themselves to bow out. Tank Davis hit Lamont Roach below the belt so many times last night. There should have been several warnings from Steve Willis, and he didn't do it. But what was great about Mr. Roach is that every time Tank resorted to those type of things, he took it into his own hands to make sure that he went right upside Tank's head several times. And the last time that he did real well, Tank took that knee, a delay after getting hit with a solid body shot. But see, as I'm watching the fight, I'm watching him mentally, psychologically come apart. There are people thinking that he was winning all the rounds. You fools. He was fighting from a deficit once the bell rang, because he was dealing with a man who had come to behave like a professional, to give his sternest, earnest effort and attempt to win. And people weren't giving him credit for what he was doing. Tank Davis's punch output was far below Lamont Roach's. And then when he stood and tried to trade with the guy and you know, bang him up a little bit, the guy answered right back. Kind of like Holyfield did Mike Tyson. When you put this together, what you realize is somebody is for real and somebody is not. And someone is being taken advantage of, meaning the paying public. And the announcers are not telling you what you should hear. You see, if they were speaking like what I'm speaking right now, it would be educating the masses. They don't want to do that. They want to keep you dumb. They want to keep you in the dark. They want to keep you ignorant. I just did a Patreon on embracing the ignorance. Yeah. Sign up for the Patreon. There's a lot of good stuff going on over there. But I say these things because at the instance of what we deal with, boxing is a sport where a great portion of it has been said anywhere from 70 to 85 to 90% mental, psychological. The physical is a smaller percentage of this. Smaller. But they have these great characters that they build up in front of your eyes who have basically the heart of a mustard seed. And you embrace it foolishly. Because they don't want to build you up mentally. They want to keep you entrapped mentally. You know, like when they chain an elephant to a stump of wood in the floor. He's been raised as a babe with that chain on, and as an adult, it won't even pull that chain away from that stump of wood in the ground because it was raised from a babe. And it thinks like when they feel that little taunt on the chain, they're not going to move. Psychological. But an elephant can stand up and trample everything in its path around it and move on down the street. It doesn't even know its own strength. But the captors know. And that's why they do all they can to try to keep it contained. What else you have?
Yeah, I think as far as like what you said, like I definitely agree. Having that enslaved mindset is a very poisonous attitude that a lot of people do carry, and it basically shows a lot of weakness in character and self reliance being lost in the event of being purely autonomous. But in regards to Gervonta Davis' performance, I thought he lost. I thought Lamont Roach did a very, very good job. And I felt like in this fight, he didn't stay active, predating to the Frank Martin victory. And I think that's what played like a massive factor. And I think he wasn't even letting his hands go. He was just kind of doing like one shot here and there. And then as soon as Roach was able to, you know, apply pressure to Tank was starting to let his hands go, but he should have done it a lot sooner. And Gervonta has a very, very good jab. It's just that he didn't use it the entire fight, and he just gave Roach a lot of opportunities to capitalize off of his faults.
Well, his activity has been what it has been for the past several years. But the quality of opposition has always been in question. His own trainer, Calvin Ford, talked about why do we want to fight Shakur Stevenson when he won't allow us to do what we want to do. Meaning, move around in the ring, talk to the audience and people outside of the ring, pot shot people, and then when he gets an opportunity, jump in and land a big shot and knock somebody out. Real professionals aren't going to go for that crap, nor did Lamont Roach last night. Earlier in this week, Junior the Truth had a live in which he was asking people, his listening audience. He had a call in. He said, hey, is there anyone out there that think that Lamont Roach has a chance? Everybody in the chat was saying, no, 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 no. I wrote in capital letters, yes. And he said, oh, Stormy says yes. And, you know, after calling in, I explained my yes. Lamont Roach is a fighter. He's a world champion now after suffering a draw, after suffering a loss in a decision, in a fight in which he challenged for a world title before. Now, this is the funny thing about that. There have been a lot of guys to challenge for titles and not win them. And that's kind of been where their career tapered off. But the man lost a fight that he could have won, realizing in the aftermath what he did not do to lose the fight that could have made him a world champion the first time. He didn't adjust and turn his level up. Well, he learned from his mistake. And so he rededicated himself to his craft and decided to come forward and say, you know what? Now I know what I need to do. He became a world champion. Then he gets offered this opportunity and says, okay, I'll take that opportunity in a heartbeat because I feel that I can win. Most people dismissed him. For a man to come back and correct what he did wrong, it shows resolve. For a man who doesn't want to face the difficult at all, it shows cowardice. But it's interesting that what you put on someone who's in a greater position, consideration, and you make excuses for him. Oh, he didn't bring his homework, but he's a good guy. Let him pass today. But the guy who was studying and is waiting for the test and exam, he's ready to take it to task. You're like, oh, wait your turn, bud. But you're passing someone else along. I listened to brothers talk about this man as if he was really doing something, and he was not. And Roach probably found it very interesting that during the match, he was making the fight. And this little guy running around in front of him, whom everybody is worshiping and all of this, giving all this consideration, he's finding it quite easy to compete against someone who's just an opportunist. If I don't give you the chance to knock me out, you can't beat me. I can outbox you. I can outwork you. I can outstrength you. I can outthink you. I can outphysical you. What you gonna do? Take a knee? Look to your corner? Talk to people outside the ring? Try to talk to me during the round. I'm still going upside your head. I'm still going to make you see why I'm here. And what do the judges and the officials, the referees, what do? They help him pass along, so he can come out and shit on you one more time. Where's your anger? Where's your sense of being upset? Where's that sense of I want my money back kind of deal when you realize you've been duped? Did they dupe Lamont Roach? Maybe out of that WBA lightweight title. But what they did for him is a greater favor than they did for the idiot that was able to retain the title with a majority draw. They helped put Roach's name on the map. And now everything that I said about him when I was on Junior's show gets to come to light for everyone that's out there listening to the proper thing. When we talk about the sport of boxing, it becomes evident. What God has for you, no man can rip asunder, He cannot take it out of the hands of. I've tried to say this so many different ways. People don't listen. They sit there and they mean mug and they want to sneak this and they want to say all of this other foolishness, but they have no connection to the ancestors, which means there is an absence of wisdom. And people perish for the lack of what? I don't hear you.
Can I interject or?
Go ahead. Say what you want to say, and then we're going to keep it moving, man, because we got more people to call. Go ahead.
Look, the final point that I just wanted to make is, this is something that, like, my wrestling coaches have always told me. No man is unbreakable, and every lesson that you learn from victory or defeat is the evolution of your character and your imagery as a person outside of what you do. And I find that to be very important because no matter how much you say that you're good at what you do, there's always some fault out there that you never knew that was present in the time of your at the time of your discovery that would lead yourself to be flawed. And that's why it's always important to keep everything, on track with what you know that you're good at doing versus things that you're not good at doing. And I think that's the main issue that not a lot of people focus on because, if you don't look at those things sooner than later, then you start to doubt yourself a lot sooner because, you never seen those flaws a lot sooner in your development as a as a person, outside of what you're doing fundamentally.
When a person adopts the mindset of self-indulgence, they're already in the negative. They've already lost. They've already been defeated. Because no man makes himself, and no man can unmake himself. That choice is not yours. You might think that it is, but it is not. The best thing a man can do is give to the higher authority and be led. But in order to do that, you have to empty yourself. To vacate and make devoid all of the worldliness that has to go away. You have to become a vessel that can be utilized instead of a full container. If you're thirsty and you would like a cold drink, if I hand you a cup that is full of dirt, a cup that is full of water, a cup that is full of soda, a cup that is full of urine, it doesn't matter. Can't be used if it's full of something else, right? The usefulness of a vessel is in its what? Emptiness. which is why I'm so despising of those that are out here making those judgments without listening. Because like I said, with no attachment to being able to be receptive to wisdom, you might as well go on out there and be a crash dummy. Peace to you, K-Rod. Let someone else call in, bro.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to say thank you for having me on, and also a huge big shout out to all the other victors, on the fight card. That was a good card, and hopefully there's another rematch down the future. So thank you for having me on.
Thank you. Peace.
Yep.
Lines are still open. Anybody want to call in? The focus is on those opposite ends of the spectrum. I gave the examples. The Crocker versus Donovan card, the Davis versus Roach card. We've seen officiating happen on both sides where it was done properly and then improperly. Okay, we got three. What is that? 333.
Yeah, 323.
323. Who's calling? What's on your mind?
Freedom's March, bro.
Freedom's March. What's good with you, bro? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm on the road right now, back to GA.
Okay.
But yeah, I wanted to say, man, shout out to Lamont Roach. He did a great job in there. You know what I'm saying? He did a really good job being the aggressor, using ring generalship. He was able to cut him off. He landed some great shots. He outlanded Tank. Like, he did a great job in there. And Tank, I know you talked about how he threw a lot of low blows, but he also shoulder checked him.
Yeah.
It was about to bite him too.
Oh yeah.
He was about to bite him in the neck like he was Dracula or something.
Listen,
this guy.
Did you just hear me talk about Mike Tyson and the comparisons?
Yes.
Okay.
I came in I think I came in after that, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was wilding out in there. He did not know what to do. He didn't make any adjustments, and it showed. It showed that once you have that confidence to go at him, and once you show that you have the ability to outbox him, you have the ability to outland him, and that you're not afraid for an answer. You're not afraid to get hit.
Right.
And that's what Lamont Roach did. And he got hit, but then he started to take his head off the center line and made Tank miss a lot. Tank missed a lot in that fight, and he landed on the glove a lot of times. So Lamont Roach showed, just like you said, how he lost against Jamel Herring and was able to come back better after that.
Well, yeah, and he showed in the fight with Tank that he was able to make adjustments as the bout went on.
Absolutely.
He adjusted to everything that Tank did. When Tank thought he would pot shot him with power shots, he countered. When Tank thought he would just sit down and try to open up with some body shots and everything, he countered that.
Yes, he did.
Then when Tank thought that he was going to get physical with him, he found out he couldn't do that. So Tank resorted to throwing low blows.
Yep. Holding.
And shouldering all of that foolishness. He was doing things that took it beyond the rules.
Yes.
But even in that, Roach's responses were to hit him in his mouth. Just like Evander did to Mike Tyson. Same thing.
Yes. Exact same thing.
We're already in a fight, right? We're already in a fight.
Yeah.
But there are rules. So if you bite me, you should be DQ'd. Huh? And if you keep hitting me low like you're doing, you should get a point deduction. But I noticed that after a few of those low blows, you know what? Roach hit him low too. Yeah.
He did. He did once, twice.
Yeah.
But also, the one time.
Go ahead.
Maybe I'm wrong, but to me it looked like he hit him on the belt line on that one. But the bottom line is, I mean, he just got outclassed. He got outclassed, and he had zero answer for it. Zero answer. There was nothing he could do because Lamont Roach showed that you're a human being just like me, and I'm going to walk through you, and I'm going to put these paws on you. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Lamont Roach, man. I think, I don't know, man. He looked comfortable at that weight. What do you think?
Well, of course he was comfortable. He didn't have to cut as much as he normally does, for being at, 130. But this is the more important thing. And I can't say it. I see Junior the Truth was out there in the chat. Salute to you, Junior. Listen, the man has already suffered a setback in his career. And he's galvanized himself. He has remade himself to be of a different frame of mind. He recognized the seriousness of his duties. He hasn't had the luxury of enjoying favor and people doing things. See, because that can be very damaging to a fighter. You become spoiled by the successes, right? Well,
Yes, sir.
Some guys can have the success and still train and be wholesome, fortifying men, but others can be extremely damaged as a result of that. Roach is somewhere in between, but I recognize the trait in him right away, which is why I knew this was going to be trouble for Tank Davis, who is not the most cerebral guy out there to begin with. His own people have kept him away from other capable quality fighters because he's not that psychologically sound. He's not. And his athletic talents, being able to punch hard, is very limited. He's no more than a more athletic person than a guy like Pitbull Cruz. If Pitbull Cruz can land his shots on you, he can get you up out of there, right?
Yep, he can.
But how many rounds is he really winning? How many rounds is Tank really winning? Think about it. And he hasn't fought the most elite guys. Do you know last night? I'll tell you what my scorecard was. I had it. I gave him 2 rounds.
That's what I gave him. I gave him 2 rounds in the possible.
2 rounds.
2 rounds because I had 2 rounds too. I had 1 through 5 for Lamont Roach, and then 6-7 for Tank, and maybe I thought they might have tied in the 8th round, but of course I'd have to look at it again. But I had 2 rounds and a possible for Tank. That's where I had it.
And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, this kid is he's not even doing enough to win rounds. You understand? And when it became obvious that he wasn't going to knock Lamont out, I'm like, I wonder what kind of foolishness they're going to pull for this. And sure enough, they didn't disappoint. A majority draw? Are you serious? And the guy took a voluntary knee that they didn't rule as a knockdown. And that didn't have anything to do with my scores because the man was winning that like 117 to 110 that somebody I saw had written out there somewhere. I was like, that sounds plausible.
Yeah, it does. It does. It sounds very plausible. And I don't know. I don't know what's next for him. What do you think is next for Tank?
Well, they're going to try to, if he's going to continue to fight, they're going to try to put him in a situation where he can look better or whatever. But the word is definitely out. If people didn't know before yesterday, they know now. Guys like everyone who has a name or a title who may have been on the fence about facing him and this and that, they'll be lining up to face him now. Because they realize, you know what? This is, it's a fallacy. They've pulled off this con game for a number of years.
Mm-hmm. They did.
Floyd knew, Ellerby knew, Showtime knew, everybody knew, except for these people that were being sold. But people like myself who have been around, I've watched Mike Tyson. I'm seeing it all over again. But see, some people don't see that. Some people, oh, yeah, well, Tyson's a heavyweight and Tank is a lightweight, this and that. No, it's the character of the individual. Character.
Yep, I would agree. So who's his mandatory going to be? Is it going to be Floyd Schofield?
Who
Is he
cares?
number one position now?
Who cares?
I'm just trying to figure out what they're going to try to do. Are they going to try to?
Why try to figure that out, brother? Leave that up to them. Concentrate on the fighters who are productive. Do you hear me say this?
Yep.
I say it how many times? This is why, you might laugh. I say, who cares? Don't nobody give a damn, because people really don't. If you're out there and you're taking it to the max, people care about that. They really do. Because that's something that they can put money into and get a return. You understand? Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff that you saw last night, where they give him a majority draw that he did not earn and everything, the time of that is drying up. This is why they don't like Turkey and what he's doing with those cards over there. And he tried to talk all that crap about that. But then again, the people come back and they cheat for him so he can still hold on to a title. A title that he didn't win, by the way, because he's a freaking email champion.
He's an email champ.
Didn't he say that about somebody else?
He invented that term. Yeah, he was the first one to say it. He said it about Devin. Mm-hmm.
So what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right?
Facts. You're right. You got a great point. Maybe it's time to stop caring about what Tonka Truck is doing.
Exactly.
Start focusing on the guys, like you said. You're right. You're right. You just shot some perspective toward my way.
You know what I want to see? I want to see Lamont Roach again. I want to see him fight somebody else. I want to see him fight one of the named guys. I want to see that. I don't give a damn about Tank Davis, and if he decides to retire, him and Al Heyman can go off into the rainbow sunset in the sky if they want to. Don't give a damn.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was saying I'd like to see Lamont Roach go up against Keyshawn or, you know what I'm saying, or even Floyd Schofield. Somebody like that. You know, somebody up there, a top contender. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that he is a legitimate threat at 135. He looks very comfortable. It looks like he's been there for years. And made Tonka look like he ain't never, that was his first fight at 135. Like, the way he flipped that on Tank was crazy. He didn't just edge it out. It was a blowout, dang near. It was dang near a blowout. Like, it wasn't like...
Yeah, 10 rounds to 2 is pretty much a blowout. I remember Sweet Pea Whitaker used to do that to almost everybody he fought.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, to me, either Lamont Roach is a legitimate threat at 135 or Tank is just ASS at 135.
No, two things can be true. He's a legitimate threat at 135, and Tank is ass at 135.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. Both could be.
See, listen. Yeah. No, listen. I'm going to show you something here with what I'm saying. Because Freedom's March, understand, this is what separates me from what other people are saying.
Right.
You cannot rip someone down to build yourself up.
True indeed.
You hold others in esteem, because if you outshine them, it's a natural progression that you've elevated. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
But if you are taking away from someone else's merits, why should I be celebrating you if you can't even equate what they've accomplished?
Yep. Good point.
See, we live in a
And
society
that's why-
where too many people are doing that. You want to tear someone down to make yourself look better. You want to lift yourself up, but you want to push someone else to the side. No. All you got to do is be prepared for your opportunity. And when your opportunity comes, if you're prepared, you're going to shine bright like a what? A diamond.
Yep.
And who can take that away from you? No one.
Nobody.
That's the
I
difference.
do believe that Lamont Roach, that is the difference. And I believe Lamont Roach is a legitimate contender at 135. I feel like he's a champion. I feel like, in my mind, he's a WBA champion at 135. But I'm not the judge. I'm not one of the judges. I can't make those decisions, though. So we are where we are right now.
But you can judge where you spend your dollars.
Facts.
And there's power in that alone.
Yeah, I watched the fight for free this morning. I waited till this morning to watch it for free.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's where your power
right.
comes from. That's the real
I
power.
wasn't about to pay for that. Yeah. And it's okay. It's okay to not spend your money on something that you don't want to spend your money on. Right? And they try to guilt trip you and tell you, well, if you're not going to buy it, you shouldn't talk about it. Well, no, that's not how that works. I can talk about it. I can talk about how horrible of a product it is and still not buy it. That's just how it works. I can say, well, I don't want to buy that. I don't think that's going to be a good product. Well, just because I'm not going to pay for it does not mean that I can't talk about it. No, I'm going to talk about it because that's what I choose to do. And I'm going to give very articulate reasons why I don't want to pay for it, why I don't want it. And that's okay. It's okay to do that. You know, everybody wants you to conform to one thing or another. No, like you said, two things can be true. Multiple things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
But shout out to you, man. Salute to you. Thanks for letting me come up here and, speak my piece. I appreciate the education as usual.
Yeah, and let me know when you get that merch in hand, man. I know you're going to enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly everybody, they speak
I'm
about
aware.
it. They say, man, they really like it, So I appreciate you supporting the platform, man, and getting up on that merchandise, man. Thank you so much.
For sure. No problem, man.
And make sure you write something in the chat, because I was looking for you in the chat because I wanted to throw a wrench your way. But when you get a chance, make sure you write something in the chat there.
All right, I got you, Stormy.
All right, thanks again.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, that's the brother Freedom's March, man. That's what's up. Coming out there. My brother Drew Titan had tried to call a little earlier when K-Rod was on. Drew, if you're still out there, the lines are open again. Let's see here. Yeah. Yeah. See, we had a couple of the ladies come in since I was on the calls. We got Queen 71 in the building, and also Tay Tay is out there. What's good with you guys? Shower is out there as well. Yeah. Okay, we got 347. That's my brother Drew Titan in the building. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Stormy? It's not too loud in here, is it?
No. You good. You good.
Okay, good. Kind of quiet on Sundays in here. Yeah, man. So, we're going to cook on this all day today. Maybe during the week, because there's going to be a lot of detractors and things of that nature. Like the brother BFTB says, the truth is good enough, man. I don't have to come in here and clown, and I'm going to get a little funky with my memes. My meme game is I got stuff cooking. I put it on my Instagram and things of that nature. But that comes with the territory, right? This is what these kids do today, right?
Exactly.
When you lose, you get killed. This is what he said he was afraid of. So,
it did not say that. Did not say.
Yeah.
By him putting that out into the universe was like reaching up, catching those words. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna use this.
That's right. And he gonna get this work. But you know what? What's amazing? What's amazing is I ain't got to make anything up. I'm just gonna tell the truth. And the truth came out. This is so simple. All right, and I need people to understand this. Here's the deal. Coach Cal was on Marco's channel.
Right.
Two things during that interview, and I'm gonna stay on this. Two things during the interview. He said that Shakur is not gonna stand there and let them do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Remember that?
Yep.
He said that, and that was alarming. And I said, "Yo, no one's gonna say anything about that. No one caught that but me. Okay, fine. Let's act like we didn't hear it. I said it a bunch of times. He want to ignore it. All right. You know what else he said? Y'all remember when it came to Devin? And it was on Marco's show. I'm gonna find it. It might have been the same broadcast, but he said, when reference to Devin, at what weight though? He said we will fight him, but at what weight though?
Right.
As if Devin was this super heavyweight.
Right.
Now look, man. The deal is this here. They've been telling us about Tank for a long time. It's just that his fanatics have not been listening. All right, because they're ignorant. And I was listening to you earlier, man, and I almost jumped out the gym and said, "Praise the Lord," because that was some daily affirmation. That was some daily word right there. You guys really need to start watching the sports. It's okay to root for another fighter more than the other because, I don't know, he's from your town, or I don't know. Maybe you do like his tattoos. I don't know. But you need to start watching the sport. Start watching the sport and stop paying attention and stop being infatuated with these guys like your girls. Stop being infatuated with these guys like your girls. Because what happens is you get caught up in just the rigmarole and going back and forth and defending the person because you feel someone's trying to cut them down unnecessarily. And see, here's the thing. We never cut anyone down unnecessarily. Right. We've never done that. We look at the situation and we assess it in all honesty, whether a fighter we support wins or loses. All right? This is not a cock measuring contest.
Right.
I'll find something wrong with your guy. You find 10 things right with him. No, I'm not going through all of that. That's how you go through the motions. You start out talking about boxing, and then it goes into personal stuff. That's why I don't do debates, because the tankaholics, they're going to have to do a lot of quality control until his next fight. And what you got to understand is if you watch the sport, you shouldn't have to do that. You just talk about what happened. You understand? And when you talk about what happened, what did you see last night? You saw a guy that can match him move for move, all right, provided enough lateral movement he walked Tank down in a lot of spots, and every time Tank fired off on him, he fired back, just like Evander did Mike Tyson. What you saw last night was the bully get bullied. Okay,
and let me add to what you're saying, since you threw Evander in there like that.
Mm-hmm.
He fought a guy who had a competitive nature about himself. In other words, Lamont Roach was up for whatever challenge it would be because his character, his resolve was strong.
Yep.
He had a very strong constitution.
Yep.
A lot of these guys, believe it or not, in this warrior sport, don't have that.
Yep.
They don't.
True story.
Which is why a lot of the fights that you would like to see don't take place. When guys have that, the fights take place.
That's right.
It's not about money. It's not about letting it marinate. It's about someone having the belief in their ability to get the job done. Joe Frazier fought George Foreman twice.
That's right.
And if you remember what he did to Joe Frazier in the first fight, as a person who doesn't get into the sport or go out there himself, you say, man, why would you want to do that again, Joe?
Why would you do that? Why would you do that again?
Right?
There was no part of that first fight that he won. It's like, why would you do that again? But Joe Frazier is a competitor. He's like, nah, I got to try and get this right. And it still didn't work out, but he tried. And he's still a legendary fighter. He tried.
And he went longer the second time around as an older guy.
That's right.
Even a little more out of shape. He went longer.
Yeah, he came. He shaved his head, man. He tried to turn up in there, man. He tried.
Yep.
And you see, this is what these dudes today, a handful of them only have, but a majority of them don't have. They don't have that because they are afraid. They're more afraid of how they'll be treated after that because they know their support is not official. They know that. And Tank said that. He knows that. And as of right now, there's 1,001 memes. They done made a rap song about hair grease already. They already did it. It's literally about 9 hours later. It's on Instagram. I said, damn, they ain't wasting no time, did they? Hair grease? Listen, we've seen some of the greatest Jerry curls in the 80s from Mitch Green to Tommy Hearns. I think, what Tony Tubbs had a Jerry curl?
Tony Tubbs, Greg Page, man, you name it, bro.
Never did they complain about juice getting in their eye. And I know they had, because that juice was just a shining. Come on, man. Hair in your eyes. And listen, that knee he took, I promise you, he was looking for a breather. He said, man, this kid came to fight today, man. And I hope you people understand matchups right now. I've been saying it. Stormy's been saying it. Everyone on this side, we've been saying it. If you look at what Tank has done at 135, there was a whole lot of belts moving around and things of that nature. He did not fight his contemporaries for a reason. And now you see, if Lamont Roach could stand in front of that man and box him and hurt him, what do you honestly, and we don't do triangle theories, but when I'm talking about stylistically, it makes sense. Because you heard Coach Hal say it. The man said, in reference to Shakur, why would we take that fight? He's not going to stand there and let us do what we do. That's what he said. And I said, why would he say that? Oh, because movement gives him problems. And then it makes you think, what about Shakur? What about Devin, who's not going to stand in front of him? What about George Kambosos, who's not going to stand in front of him? What about Lomachenko, who's not going to stand in front of him? Lomachenko was should have been the first on the hit list. I wanted him to take out Lomachenko because he had the white privilege. He was the greatest thing, according to Bob Arum, the greatest thing he's seen since Sugar Ray Leonard and Muhammad Ali. That's what he said. And I said, you got to stop this. They always do this. He's the greatest thing since Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard, and Gennady Golovkin was the next Marvin Hagler. as if Bernard Hopkins' career didn't exist, all of that stuff. So I said, this Lomachenko guy, if Tank is a good, he needs to stop him. You wonder why he never did it. You wonder why he never did it. Gary Russell, you wonder why he never did it. What's his name? Tevin Farmer. You wonder why he never did it. You saw it last night. You saw what gives him an issue. And I'm not giving him Frank Martin. Frank Martin was great. I stand on that. I keep telling y'all. When he said that to his face, he said, yeah, you're drained. I made a phone call. After the win, I made a phone call to someone that was in the camp helping him. And I said, is that true? He says, yeah, but he should be okay tomorrow. And he did all he could until he couldn't. And what I noticed about Lamont last night was, I said, okay, he's really a 135-pounder, so I know what the play was. But you know what I realized? He didn't have to struggle to make 130. He came in there fully hydrated, and you know what? He was heavier than 135 last night. He looked about 147, to be honest with you. And he was fully hydrated, and he was healthy. And Tank had a problem because Tank had no advantage. He had no advantage. So the jig is up. Jig, for all you jigs, the jig is up. The jig is up. He said he made everyone in New York wait until like damn near 3 a.m. before he came out. It was very rude and very unprofessional. And it was a glorified D-blowing contest. Oh, you know, Tank, people don't understand how hard it is to train. Stop babying this guy. It's the same thing that, how many times I got to tell y'all? I've seen Tank before. His name was Mike Tyson. I've seen this before. I know how this ends. And if he's smart, if he's not fighting Lamont Roach next, because he said on the podium yesterday, well, this morning, he said, I want to fight him again, but I don't think it'll be next. He also said he got about 4 fights left in him. Let me be very clear. If he's smart, he better keep his word and get out the game. Get out the game now. Because he's not going to be as lucky the next time. I'm telling you, he looks like food. He looks like food, and people are hungry now. There's a lot of people that saw that. I'm telling you, Keyshawn saw that. I'm not on Twitter. Y'all can tell me. Because they like, I know a bill, because people sent me a screenshot of what Bill says. Okay, but he's looking like food, and I'm telling you, y'all went from saying this guy knocks out everybody to like, oh shit, what happened? I'm telling you what happened. What happened was the inevitable. This dude is human. This dude is human. He's been fighting setup fights. He's been fighting people that were made to order. People with a little bit of hip movement and that can walk him down in spots will give him a hell of a problem. All right? He ain't no different than Regis Prograis on the inside. I don't want to hear it. He might have a different kind of IQ, but he ain't no different. You saw what Devin did to that guy. That's why they started talking about size and Devin being too big and the weight bully. Now, that went away. Is Lamont Roach a weight bully? Right? Watch this. Is Tank a weight bully for Leo Santa Cruz? Is he a weight bully for bringing up this is the second guy he brought up from 130? Y'all never say he's a weight bully. Time reveals all truth, and a lie is nothing but the long way to the truth, and here we are. So I ain't gonna clown him. I'm just gonna talk about what happened. And I'm gonna keep talking about it until what? The next time we see him. And I can't wait to see who he picks next.
There's no reason to clown someone who clowns themselves.
That's right.
You let a monkey do his own show, huh? That's what you do. You let them entertain, and like I said early in this show, they fling the poo, but what they don't realize is sometimes the poo get on you, huh? It does, and it stinks. And so he finally got a taste and dose, huge dosage of his own medicine.
That's right.
And buckle up, you know, because you're far away from Kansas. You understand? It's like this whole thing that he did, man, and talking about other fighters when they've had struggles or even setbacks and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Getting grease in your eye, taking knees, and all of that kind of stuff, dude. You are a You're a stain on the sport. You're just like despicable, huh? There's no honor in that.
Didn't the guy he invited out on a date, and Ryan Garcia? I heard Ryan Garcia's ripping him on Twitter now. Is that true?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but I don't care about him either, because it's like, again, there's no honor amongst thieves, is it? Huh?
No, not at all.
Didn't you use the analogy of the reason that the Legion of Doom could never beat the Justice League is because they'll even be at each other, right? There you go.
They'll flip on each other.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Who do you trust? Who do you trust in that scenario? The Joker, Lex Luthor? Who do you trust?
So, you know,
who do you trust?
If they were dapping it up and giving each other a pound and all of that, are they not going to Pound Town anymore?
Nope.
Listen, I don't care. When I told the last caller, Freedom March, I said, you know what I want to see? I want to see Frank Roach. I want to see him face other guys in the division or whatever. Let's roll, huh? Because he's got the right mindset. He's got the ability. He's got the resume. He is there to be on the scene and be available. Now let's see who want to step to him.
That's right. That's right. I'm here for it. Get these pretenders out the way. Shout out to Turkey out of Sheep for now, because you know things change. But shout out for now because he's putting on.
Yeah.
So now that we got this crap out the way, right? Let's get to some real boxing.
Yeah.
Let's get to some real boxing. Let's get to it. Because I'm looking at it like, yeah, we've been right about this. I don't know what y'all shocked about. But in other news, and see, here's the thing. All I said is, I want this kid to go away so boxing can go back to normal, whatever normal is today. But my advice, get out the sport, because his next fight is going to be worse.
Yep.
His next fight is going to be worse. His next fight is going to be a hell of a lot worse. You don't want no parts of Shakur. All right, Keyshawn will be there to get hit, but he's going to hit your back. You understand? And the blueprint been out. Matter of fact, the blueprint been out since I heard Coach Cal say what he said. It's been out. So if y'all Tank fanatics, I heard, I saw some posts, some people saying, Tank, a few people said, oh, he need to go to the gym and work on stuff. At this level, he should know what to do. I never heard Floyd Mayweather, after a win, say, I need to go work on some stuff. No, you already know what you're supposed to be doing. Stop. Don't give this kid an out. Y'all already told us that he was a man. I never heard any Canelo fan say, oh, he got to go work on some things, even after a loss. The only thing he needed to work on with Bivol was not fight at 175 against a guy that'll fight your back. That's what we learned. There was nothing to go work on. Stop giving this kid an out. Stop babying him. Stop. Exposed.
And
how about
you know
that?
what?
Exposed.
And he's a kid to us, but it's like he's 30 years old now. Guess what? And you've heard me say this before about guys at lower weights. He old. He old.
Right.
He's for the pasture now. Because at 30, at those lower weights, when you got a cut and everything, dude, that's kind of like the door is closing, huh?
That's right. That's right.
And we say that
now,
about Chocolatito and what was his name? Estrada and all of them. And Bam Rodriguez came right in there and cleaned them guys up, didn't he? Because the lower weights, listen, the prime years are like from 21 to 28. That's in the lower weights where you got to cut that weight.
Yep.
You turn 30, you old.
That's right. I'm going to say this. They were asking Coach Hunter 2 days ago. They're already looking past us. They said, what do you want to see, Roach? I mean, what do you want to see Tank next? You know, he said Anui. You know, I got a whole video about that. He said Anui. And I'm like, here we go again. But no one's going to call him a weight bully, though, right? Yeah, I'm all over that. Now we don't know. He said the Roach fight. He said he got about a good 4 fights left.
I got another lightweight, a junior lightweight for his ass that he don't want to see. O'Shaquie Foster.
Hello. Can the church say amen?
O'Shaquie Foster. Yep.
He ain't gonna do it. Now, magically, he's a shark in the ocean with no teeth. He's a shark in the ocean with no damn teeth. What he gonna do now? How he gonna defend himself? Because he looking like food now with his soul glow. This is ridiculous. Let me finish this workout, brother. I'm gonna see you later on tonight, man. Salute to you, brother.
All right, man. Salute. Thanks for your call, bro.
No problem.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Lines are still open. Somebody else want to call in? Let's do this. Let's have a conversation. Okay, we got 651 in the building. I think that might be my man Abel Mahari. Is that Abel?
Yours truly. How are you doing, Sensei?
What's going on, man? How you feel this morning?
Oh my goodness, the chickens have come home to roost, man. And oh my goodness, bro. Like, you always said before that the truth is always a long way to the truth. And man, doesn't it feel good when validation is finally showed itself on its rear end, and a lot of the people that were being ignorant are now just had nothing to say? That's what I feel last night when it came to Tank Davis, man. Like, everything that, you and Drew kind of talked about, and Sevi had talked about, came to fruition again. And it's just like, there you go. Like, what can you say now? That's literally, honestly, I've been walking around these YouTube streets today, and even a lot of the pro Tank Davis channels, they got no choice. They had to tell it like it was. Like, it feels like the universe has finally realigned itself and shown what the real consistency of the truth is. And it just is like, man, you see how brutal the truth is? And I just saw a tweet from Ryan Garcia, man. He is just destroying him a new one, bro. Like, he literally said on X, he said that was a knockdown. It was the worst call that he ever seen in his entire life in boxing. I'm paraphrasing, but man, it's like what, man? Tank, brother Tank, there's nothing you could say now to warrant anything you said. And one more thing before you get to your thoughts on. I remember specifically when Marco asked Calvin Ford about the possibility of fighting Shakur Stevenson. And he said, why would we want to do that? Because he won't let us do what we do.
Right.
Man, woo. How the truth has finally has come out on its rear end. And now if you're a Tank Davis fan, what can you say? There's really nothing you can say now. Like, at this point, you're better off just leaving the sport entirely. Go off into the sunset and do something else with your life, whatever the millions that you just saved up. Because now there's nothing. I want to see Lamont Rose fight again. I really do. I really do. He did exactly what we've been asking the Tank this entire time. Be professional, come ready to fight. It felt like that Tank wasn't even ready to fight, bro. I'm serious. Like, he was waiting for the perfect opportunity for one of those signature knockout shots, and Lamont Roach didn't let it happen. And I keep thinking to myself what Calvin Ford said to Marco Boxing, and I'm like, Wow. Unbelievable. Man.
Yeah.
There's nothing much to say about it, Stormy. I speechless.
Listen, I referred to Junior's show earlier in the week when he had a call in, and I called in there because he was asking his audience. He was like, does anybody out here feel that Lamont Roach has a chance? And most of the people were responding in the chat. They were like, no, absolutely not, and this and that. And I was like, I wrote in capital letters, yes, he has a chance. You know what I mean? I've seen this movie before, bro. I've seen the movie before, and I've seen the stars. They've done remakes. It's presently this guy's time now. But at the same time, it's like, listen, when you talk about people like Mike Tyson, who really set the bar kind of high for shenanigans, but it's there all the same. Hey, it is what it is. He set the bar high, but you got people like Tank trying to leapfrog the bar. It's like, it's ridiculous. I'd rather focus on what could be next for the likes of Lamont Roach, because here's a man who's got a pretty darn good story. He came back from being a contender who lost an opportunity at a title shot when all he had to do was make some adjustments during the fight, and he didn't do it. And he learned from that mistake. He learned from that setback, and he became a champion. But not only did he become a champion, it changed his mindset on his profession, and it helped strengthen his character. That's where I found my place of understanding how he was going to be able to fare against Tank Davis. Tank Davis hasn't had anything difficult in his life professionally as a fighter in the ring. Everything has been kind of geared toward he to have success, not for he to overcome challenges. And that's the difference. And when you have overcome something, it fortifies you to a degree so that you can go a little bit further. But not only do you just be able to persevere to go further, you could press on with that experience that you carry with you, and you have something to fall back on. It's like support, back support. It's foundational support. It's that can elevate you to a degree. This is what's missing out of people who don't want to compete today against their contemporaries. Devin was looking for the smoke from everybody, not because he was arrogant, but because he was challenging himself. Every one of us should want to challenge ourselves to be the best that we can be. It's why I continue to produce content on YouTube when they've taken my monetization away wrongfully. I could sit up and flip them a bird and say, screw YouTube and this and that or whatever. But I do this because I know that my content is helping somebody out there. And it's elevating someone's knowledge of boxing out there. It's helping them to be more entertained about it and all of that. So I serve a great purpose here. I never come into this thinking I'm going to get rich. I got a job. You know what I mean? But I do what I do because that's what's in me to do, to be the best that I could be. Not just lay down and, just give in and no. So I salute Lamont Roach and others who are like him. And there's quite a few who are like him. But you can't see them because they put these other guys like Tank in front of your face all the time. But see, the difference with me is I can see beyond the Tanks. They're transparent to me. It's like looking through window glass.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, bro. Like, everything, you know what really reveals to me is that, to me, Tank has been a guy that has been trying to skate by with easy challenges and trying to make the most money out of himself, but never really push what he can do. And that's why I've said many times, show me what your greatest fight of your contemporaries. And he's never done that. You go all the way back to Tevin Farmer, to Gary Russell Jr. Everything about this guy has been fraudulent. Everything about it in the ring. So at the end of the day, I could care less if he wants to fight his contemporaries at this point, because he'll never fight his contemporaries. He'll never will. And like I said, I want to see Lamont Roach fight again, because you know what, the one thing that he showed me is that he showed his mental strength in staying to his game plan and never allowed himself to be mentally flustered by Tank's antics in the ring. I was so impressed by that. Now, if you put Shakur Stevenson or even Devin Haney in that same position, we all know how that's going to play out. We all know that. So, listen, I'm here to celebrate Lamont Roach and how he performed. And what they did to that man, giving the majority draw, is beyond asinine. Like, how in the world, as a referee, Steve Willis, who I've liked as a referee, how can you sit there with a straight face and say that that was not a knockdown when he had one knee on the canvas? Last time I checked, the rule is if you have a glove on the canvas or a knee on the canvas, it's automatically a knockdown and the standard 8 count. But really, it's just like, come on, bro. You're really on the take, and you're just making it a joke at this point. I'm just like, bro, Roxon has got to get himself right. It's ridiculous.
Yep. But this is what it is, this is what it is. And Tank has benefited a great deal from being helped out. But understand,
exactly.
He's aging out now. He's aging out. As I was just telling Drew Titan, he's getting older now. And they're going to need somebody to replace him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I already think I know who it's going to be, but at the same time, he's not like Tank at all. But what's going to be more defining about Tank is his very next opportunity if he decides to continue to box. If he decides to no longer box, he'll escape. But I think he's going to continue to box because they need to put him in a position where he could look good again. But that's the thing. It's like, it's not that simple. It's not that simple.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
That's just like it's just like once Tyson got beat, people stopped being intimidated by him. You know what I'm saying? That intimidating factor, it went away, and it was like now all of a sudden people didn't come to the ring like that no more. And that's what made Tyson begin to act out personality-wise, because he realized they ain't scared of me no more. So he started doing crazy stuff,
Yep. Agreed. That aura of invincibility that was there with Tank, whatever that means, is no more. Literally no more. And now people are going to look at Tank very, very closely, and most with a side eye, because you can look back in his career and realize that he's pretty much overhyped and overrated throughout his entire career. He hasn't done anything close to what Devin Haney, or heck, even some of Shakur has done. Literally. So I don't got much to say about it, but all I gotta say for Tank is, if you want to get out now, because it's not gonna get easy for you from here on out. That's all I gotta say about that. But Stormy, man, I'm gonna go ahead and let someone else, cook, man. I don't want to take up too much time. You know what I mean? Because I want to hear more people express their perspectives on the fight, man. But you always kept it, real every single time you've been on these YouTube airways, and it's going to continue on. So, blessings to you, OG.
Okay, thanks, man. I appreciate your call, bro. Have a good Sunday, man.
Yes, sir. Take care.
You too. Peace. All right. See your brother, Abel Mahari. Yeah, great call. Yeah, old bended knee there. Bended knee, Tank Davis. That's your guy, though. Y'all love him. So lines are still open, man. You guys want to call in? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Oh, man. Here we go. Here we go. We got my man, Junior the Truth, in the building. What's happening, Junior? What's happening?
Hey. Man, it's all good, man. It's all chicken but the bone, man. How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling pretty good. What's going on, man?
Man, ain't nothing to it, man. Hey, man, it's crazy out here, man.
Yeah.
So I had the dangest thing happen, man. So I had a live stream I was doing last week, right?
Yeah.
And I had opened up the phone lines, and I was posing the question: did Frank Martin have a chance in this fight? Because I was really alarmed by, watching over the boxing airways and the independent media outlets and everybody saying that, Lamont Roach has absolutely no chance, and you know what I mean? And I'm listening to this for months and months and months. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I went on and posed the question, and then it was one dude just said, "Hey man, yes, he has a chance." In the chat, he said yes. And then he called in and edified it, man, and talked about exactly why he thought Lamont Roach had a chance. And then, lo and behold, Lamont Roach went out and actually won the fight, bro. He went out and turned Tank Davis every which way but loose, man. Bro,
yeah.
At some point in time, man, we got to get back to reality. Like, we got to get back to reality, man. And for me, I did a short, and in the short that as a part of that my prediction video, I talked about how I felt like Lamont Roach could win, and then I turned it into a short. And man, I got crucified, man. People was, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, and it's not gonna happen, and never, and you're crazy, you're nuts, and you just hate Tank, and blah 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 blah." And I'm like, no, bro. Like, there are things like when you watch the sport, like you actually watch the sport, like. You know what I'm saying? If you're a fan of this stuff, then you see things and you understand what the old folks say. The elders say there's nothing new under the sun.
Man.
So you see it over and over and over again, bro. And that's where we are. Hello.
Listen, Junior, yesterday, the Crockett versus Donovan fight that was on DAZN from Belfast, nobody was talking about this fight. But I've been paying attention because I watched boxing, internationally, everything. But the winner of that fight, this was an IBF eliminator for Jaron Ennis's title. So that means the winner of that fight is going to be his mandatory. So I'm watching the fight, right? And Paddy Donovan is a young Irish fighter that they are promoting over there. And he's got a fan following and stuff like that. He's kind of got like, over here, we do a lot of social media and stuff. Over there, they just get behind someone, like they get behind their football team. They get behind, it's that kind of thing. They just have more passion. So he's kind of got like a Gotti following over there, right? So Lewis Crocker was still an undefeated fighter, but though he was Irish, he's not the one that they wanted. They wanted Donovan. So, Donovan's favorite, but Crocker is undefeated too. They fighting in the fight, and Crocker's taking the fight to him. But I noticed that Donovan wasn't dealing with the pressure that Crocker was bringing very well, so he started fouling. He started headbutting. He started, hitting low. He's doing the dirty Irish tactics that they do. I've seen it. I watched Josh Warrington, Katie Taylor, all of them. They do the same stuff. That's why I know it's taught in the gyms over there. Anyway, long story short, in one of the rounds, in fact, I got my scorecard right here in front of me. In one of the rounds, the referee took a point from him. I think it was the 6th round. Took a point from Donovan for fouling with the headbutts and everything. That was the 6th round. He took the point. But immediately after the ref took the point, he headbutted Crocker like 4 or 5 more times. It was like he kept doing it. So then in the 8th round, the ref ended up taking another point for fouls from Donovan, right? Now, mind you, Donovan is the favorite in the fight. So he takes the point from Donovan. The fight resumes. They're in the 8th round. And then what happened is Donovan knocks Crocker down. And Crocker had suffered from one of the headbutts. He had a cut under his left eye. So he's kind of squinting his eye. He goes down. He gets up inside the count. The referee is counting. I'm like, I hope they don't wave it off, The ref let it continue. They go into the bell. And then after the bell, Donovan throws this shot and lands it on Crocker and knocks him out. And the ref is like, wait a minute. And so Crocker goes back to his corner. He's raising his hand in victory and everything. The ref is waving his hands like, no. Crocker's cornermen, they get up to the apron. The ref waves them back, tells them to go back. He goes over to Crocker, makes sure he gets up on his feet because he wasn't laid out. He had basically went to his knees. He gets up. He sends Crocker to a neutral corner. He sends Donovan to a neutral corner, and he waves his hands like it's over. And everybody's like, oh, he won. The referee said, no, he's disqualified. He took 1 point for headbutts and everything in the 6th round. He took another point for the same fouls and infractions in the 8th round. But then the punch after the bell was a deliberate punch. He didn't have to throw that punch. He knocked the guy down and out with that shot. The referee made the right call, Junior, and I'm glad that I was sitting there watching this, because this is why I tell people to watch boxing. When you're able to see this stuff play out, Donovan's fanfare and popularity, the fact that he was the guy that was favored in the fight, the fact that he was the main event in the fight and the name in the main event didn't mean nothing at the end of the day when they DQ'd his ass, because it was rightful. The referee, Marcus McDonald, he disqualified him. I was totally in line with that, and I was shocked that they did it. That's why I said this was on the other end of the spectrum than what happened with Tank and Lamont, because you don't see it often. Right. But if this happened more, you wouldn't have the infractions of which we speak, because it's like someone who wins should win. Someone who's gone through the camps and training themselves hard and everything, they deserve their victory when it's there. They don't deserve split draws and split in favor of the favorite guy and stuff. No, if you earned your merits, if you've been out working all day and you fished and you got all this bushel of fish and you come home to feed your family, nobody else deserves to come in there and take that away from you and eat.
That's fact.
So this is the same principle of which I speak. But here it is. It played out in real time yesterday. You know what I mean? And I'm not calling myself no prophet or nothing like that. But when I said what I said about Roach, is because I've watched the man go through a transition. Nobody's watching boxing like that. They just know that, oh, he lost to Jamel Herring. But the fight was close. He almost knocked Jamel Herring out. People forget that. But Jamel Herring got the decision because Roach didn't step on the gas. He didn't change his levels. He didn't try to go for it or whatever. But he learned. In the aftermath of that, he said, I got to have a different disposition now. I got to approach my fights different. And he become a world champion after that. And then I saw his fight on Pro Box a few months back. I'm like, okay, he's coming around. And when they say he got this fight with Tank, I was like, okay, that's cool, because with the new attitude and approach to the fight, he's not the guy that lost to Jamel Herring anymore. He's not that guy. Mm-hmm. You don't lose world title challenges and come back and win a title and just regress. Winning and achieving titles has always been stated that fighters can become 10% better as a world champion or a world title holder. What did he look like last night? He looked like a fighter last night. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He didn't look like an opponent. Mm-mm. He didn't have opponent's disposition. Everything Tank was trying to do, he was nullifying. He was going after Tank from the opening bell. As I told one of the other callers earlier, I said I had him winning 10 rounds to 2. He was winning that fight. There is no freaking way, even though Tank took a knee in that fight, there's no freaking way that he lost that fight. This was all set up for Tank's sake. And that's the worst thing you could do for a guy like that with piss poor character and everything, because you didn't punish him. And it's not a punishment. It's just the universe doing what it needs to do. But if you give him his loss now, maybe he could go back and correct things and get the right mindset like Roach did. But by giving him a majority draw, he's just going to step over this situation. He's not going to get that man an immediate rematch, and he's going to go after someone else. It's just that hopefully whoever else he go after will come in with the same type of disposition that Roach did. But that's not a guarantee either. But this is why I say what I say. I've watched these things play out. I've coached guys in the gym. I've seen the landscape. Mike Tyson is a great example to pair up with Tank, but there have been others as well. But this guy, Tank Davis, dude, the cover has been totally ripped off now. Leonard Ellaby, Floyd Mayweather, and all of the people over there, the Showtime folks and all that, they can't cover for him no more.
Right.
And his coach, Calvin Ford, when he said that Shakur won't let us do what we want to do kind of thing, he let the cat out of the bag. So it's like, dude, you guys are running on fumes. It's time to put up or shut up. So to talk about leaving the sport and all of that, good riddance. Get your ass out. You done stole enough money. But it's time now. The wheel has turned. We're seeing more and more fighters becoming challenging of themselves and their opponents and contemporaries. They want to do something to establish themselves. That whole thing about we want to be friends and this and that, those guys are going by the wayside. Mm-hmm. Even Keyshawn doesn't share Shakur Stevenson's disposition about that shit. And eventually Shakur is going to have to face the music. He could talk all about being the best boxer in boxing all he wants to out of his mouth. But if you're not showing it in the ring, guess what? People can see that. You say one thing, but you're doing another.
And I think honestly speaking, this is an opportunity because of the retirement talk and everything for Tank. This is an opportunity for him to make a decision and stand on it for real.
Yes.
Because this is an opportunity, like you said, they should have gave him that L so that he could go back to the drawing board and become a better fighter, or get out the sport before he get himself hurt.
Let me use an analogy, Junior. Check this out. And this is why bad decisions in boxing are not, it's not helping the sport at all. You work every day. You see a lady that you admire. You're like, man, I like to meet her. I like to get to know her or whatever, right? And you finally get the courage up one day and you step to her and you say, hey, my name is so-and-so and, I've been seeing you around. You trying to, and she say, oh, she give you conversation and everything. And you decide to ask her out. And she declines. And you might even have the gumption to say, well, is there a reason why you decline or whatever? And she might let you know, like, oh, well, I'm just trying to focus this and that and do this or whatever. And guys, and then, okay. And then you say, well, okay, that's cool, but you may not feel like giving up, right? So you might still try to, but the whole point of what I'm saying is shooting you down shouldn't make you quit, right? Shouldn't make you quit.
Right.
Shouldn't make you feel like, she don't like me either, this and that, I just give up. No, because sometimes they enjoy a little cat and mouse. They do. They want you to chase them a little bit or whatever. And you do that, and then next thing you know, boom, y'all become a good couple and you live happily ever after or whatever. In bad decisions in boxing, if a guy that really didn't win is awarded a draw or a split or even given a majority of consideration, you've given him no reason to go back to the drawing board to improve.
Mm-hmm.
He escapes. Mm-hmm. He escapes. And when they make an escape, sometimes they'll even take a detour off of the path that they really should stay on. But they be like, well, I got away with that one, wipe the brow and be like, but if you give them the loss or whatever, what makes them say, well, what did I do wrong? And then the coaches and trainers have to get together and create and formulate a plan to get you better so that you can come back, not necessarily in a rematch with who you lost to, but that you can go back to the drawing board to get better. What fighter have you ever heard of going back to the drawing board to get better after escaping with majority decisions or majority draws or split decisions? They don't.
I was just thinking that.
They don't.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have something within yourself to want to be better, right? And in this participation trophy society that we're existing in, that's what placates matters. Mm-hmm. You can complain on your job, or they don't want to give me a raise, or they don't want to elevate my position, or whatever. But what are you doing to put yourself in that position for elevation or to get the raise? If you've got something where the track record speaks for you and say, well, see, these are my merits, my accomplishments, this is my portfolio, blah, blah, blah. And they say, well, you know what, Joe, you really did a great job. We're going to offer you such and such or whatever, if there's space to do so. Okay, but a guy who's not doing anything, just half-assing it, making it by or whatever, you don't want to see them give it to him when you know what you've put in, right?
Right, that's right.
So this is what I'm saying. That's what hurts the sport. It would have behooved them last night to give Roach his decision. I know it would have hurt some fans. I know it would have hurt Tank Davis' feelings. But I guarantee you, if Tank Davis fought again after last night and the decision went against him, you would see a different Tank Davis in his very next fight. I guarantee you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that doesn't even mean he's going to be successful. But what it will mean is that they've got his attention.
Yep. And let me say this, because I always think about this stuff from a business perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from a business perspective, you don't understand how giving that decision you're shooting yourself in the foot from a business perspective. Right now, the PBC, though they're working with Turk Al-Sheikh, they're still trying to maintain some level of independence, right? If you want to maintain some level of independence, of course, Tank Davis he's been your cash. He's been your cash. He is your cash right now, right? Cool. So you give him that loss, right? Then you bring that right. Then you bring the rematch right back. Now you've created a super fight.
Right.
Right now, it's not even a super fight.
Right.
This is not a super fight. This is a Tank Davis won or Tank Davis was a draw. Tank had a bad night. Yada 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 yada. No, you give him that L. Then you come back and say, all right, we're gonna run it back in October. He do the whole Thriller thing, so you can make it a Halloween fight for the Thriller, the return of the Thriller or whatever. Bring it right back to Brooklyn. Now you got a super fight. You're gonna have a more dialed in, more locked in, more focused Gervonta Tank Davis. You're gonna have Lamont Roach coming to prove that it wasn't a fluke. You still gonna have Baltimore versus Washington, DC, but it's gonna be more of them because more people gonna come because they're gonna have to be there.
Right.
And now you've created one of the best fights, probably fight of the year.
Basically, must see TV. Yeah,
must see TV. Instead of having Tank Davis be the must see person on his own, now you created a must see TV, which is B, and then C. For those of us that are boxing purists, we understand that all of our greatest, our historical, our most prominent boxing figures had a rival, and you have given Tank Davis his rival, and you have put them in a position to actually have a trilogy.
Yep.
If Tank wins the second one. And if he loses the second one, now you elevate Roach, and Roach is the wound.
Right.
And you still continue to maintain. You make him, you make his hub Washington D.C. because he's D.C. through and through, and so on and so forth. And you work with the DMV area, and then you run everything through that. But they shoot themselves in the foot because we know, and I hate to say it this way, because I like Tank Davis, and I believe that Tank Davis has a place in the sport of boxing. He has a place. We've seen fighters like Tank have a place. You understand what I'm saying? If Ricardo Mayorga had a place in the sport of boxing, Tank Davis has a place in the sport of boxing.
Absolutely.
But what we can't do is we can't put him in there with the likes of these Hall of Fame fighters and come out and say, nah, I'm better than Floyd and I'm this and I'm that without the merit. It can't be unmerited. We can't have him coming in and saying stuff like, in order to avoid fights, saying stuff like, what has Shakur Stevenson done? When Shakur Stevenson has done more than you within the sport of boxing. You see what I'm saying? You can't. He did more than you as an amateur. He's done more than you as a professional. The only thing that he hasn't done more than you was do what you've done at the box office, and we all can attribute what was done at the box office to his relationship and the tutelage of Floyd Mayweather. See, at some point we got to start getting serious about this stuff, bro. Like, or not.
I agree.
But we know that this whole, those of us that know, and we know that the whole prowess and this whole thing with Tank has been fool's gold because he's refused to fight the best fighters. And think of all of the fighters that have come in and around and through his weight division, and he's fought none of them. No Lomachenko fight, no Teofimo Lopez fight, no Devin the Dream Haney fight, no Shakur Stevenson fight, currently no Keyshawn Davis fight.
And you say all of that, and on top of that, there could have been rivalry built in-house to keep their side of what they're trying to do and promote going. They didn't do that.
Yep.
And the opportunities were there. There were so many different talents that were right there at your fingertips.
Yep.
And something that Drew Titan mentioned that was very true, as long as Tank has been at this particular weight class, how many champions have there been on the other side of him that he never challenged? Guys have now come and moved on with careers and moved on to other divisions and everything, and he never saw those people. And that's kind of really, it sums it up, about who he really is, because he's just been a placeholder.
Yep.
There have been guys,
And it's
you
been
talk about the Cambosos, the Tiafimos, the Lomachinkos, the Devins, and now even Shakur. It's like you haven't seen any of those guys. None of them. That's what, 4 or 5 fights right there.
Yeah. Yep. Not
and it's not us trying to say we want to see the man lose. No, we want to see the quality of the sport. That's just like, you remember how I think it was it the San Antonio Spurs, the head coach was giving his players, and this goes back a couple of generations basically, because I don't watch the NBA now, but I think when he was taking his players out and resting them, right? But the season wasn't over. But people pay their money and they get a ticket for season games. We ain't talking about season ticket holders. We're talking about people who want to take their family out to an NBA game one night. And you find out that Tim Duncan and a few of the other guys, they're not playing because the coach is holding them out. It's like, we waited all this time, spent all this money to go watch the game, and now we don't even get to see who we paid to come and see.
Yep. Right.
You know, that's kind of like not something that you want to experience when you spent your money like that. So it should be the same thing in boxing, that, yeah, Tank has a reputation that he can knock people out and stuff like that, but let's see him against his contemporaries that are good. Let's see if he could do that. And if he can, great. And if he can't, maybe he can take a setback and come back better. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And what's wrong with demanding better? Nothing. But they would have you think there's something wrong with that. Oh, you just want to see him lose. What? People lose every day in life, bro. But that don't mean life is over. Life continues on.
Yeah, it's a part of life. It's a part of life. You know what I'm saying? And and like we said, the greatest fighters that we've ever, you think about that. There's only one fighter. Well, actually two. Andre Ward. Well, for myself, all of these fighters that I adore, all of these fighters that I have been enamored with their careers, that I followed since I was a child. All of them have lost. All of them. Andre S.O.G. Ward didn't lose, and Floyd Mayweather didn't lose, quote unquote. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, losing is a part of the game. And so I'm gonna say this. Well, one of the brothers in the chat, he said, he just said that the draw, he said it diminishes Roach's effort. I disagree.
Right.
I believe on that stage and what we saw and what happened last night, it's impossible to diminish Roach's effort, because nobody gave him a chance. He was not given a chance by the sport of boxing. A. B, we have seen fighters go in and lose to Tank and become a bigger star. And I'm going to speak specifically about Tank. I ain't even talking about nobody else. We're going to talk about Floyd. We're going to talk about none of that. We've seen Isak Pitbull Cruz come in, lose to Tank, become a bigger star. We've seen Ryan Garcia come in, get knocked out by Tank, becomes a colossal star and able to make millions and millions of dollars. If Lamont Roach's efforts are diminished, then that is a flaw on our behalf, because you guys just said it. You just said it. I don't give a damn what Tank do next. If Tank not fighting Lamont Roach next, I don't give a damn. I want to see what Lamont Roach gonna do.
That's
Lamont
what
Roach,
I was saying, Junior.
Was going back and forth. Yeah, that's exactly what you were saying.
Yep.
Lamont Roach and Shakur Stevenson was going back and forth. I need to see that. Yeah, make that. I need to see that. Turk Al-Sheikh, I want to see that. Like, as fans, this is how this works. This is what we do. You understand what I'm saying? If Tank don't want to come back, if he don't want to really truly go back and get it back and prove that was a fluke, prove that he is who everybody says he is, I have zero interest in seeing him. I don't want to see him. If he's not going to be in there versus Keyshawn Davis or Shakur Stevenson, I don't want to see him. You understand what I'm saying? I do want to see Lamont Roach.
Yeah.
And we should be getting behind Lamont Roach, and this is what we should be calling for. We should be calling for Lamont Roach next. We want to see Lamont Roach get another title shot. ASAP Rocky right now.
Yep.
And if boxing don't deliver that, then that is proof positive as to why the sport is in the condition it is right now. Like, that's what we want to see, and that's what we should be calling for as fans. And if we don't, you out of order.
And you know what else a drum we should bang for too, Junior? We should bang the drum of Turkey reaching out to Lamont Roach, because he's a guy that will show up as a professional, and he's going to give a wholehearted effort. Everything that they have been representing in Riyadh season with the events that they put together defines who Lamont Roach is, and would be a welcomed addition to those cards over there, because that young man he's about the business, and he ain't chasing the dollars. We know that Turkey can help him in that way immeasurably, but he's a man that still has that hunger to try to be the best and everything. And that's what we want out of our fighters when we're paying our money for it or whatever. They charged us $80 for that stuff last night with that type of decision. That's wrong. With that type of officiating, where they didn't call an obvious self-taken knee and everything. You got to do better than that. You got to do better than that. You can't sit back and talk about someone else setting things up and everything, and you are the prince of being set up. Set up in comfort, I'm speaking.
Yep, set up in comfort.
No, we that's unacceptable. Because there's a world of young talent that's just knocking at the door. The Masons and the Shushu Carringtons and all of these young guys, they are knocking at the door.
Yep.
And you got a placeholder there that don't want to do nothing.
In the way.
Yeah.
He's in the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's time. And as I said to Drew in his call a little while ago, I said, and another thing about Tank, he's 30 years old now. Remember when he was 22?
Yep, I remember when he was 22.
Yeah, and look at how much things have been squandered and everything, and he never faced it. So now he's 30. And in the lower weight classes, 30 is old.
It's old.
Because you got to cut that weight and everything. So you're not going to be who you were when you're cutting weight at 30, 31 that you were when you were 24.
Yep. And he can't go to 40. That's a death sentence.
Yeah. So it's like
we saw Puelo last night. It's a death sentence.
Look, we saw Jared Hurd last night. Look at that.
We saw Jared Hurd. Yep.
After all this time, he finally moved from 154 to 160. The fight with what was that, Jason Rosario last summer? Yeah. What in that lackluster effort, and then last night's effort, and he said that if he couldn't beat that guy last night, he would retire. Dude, you should have been considering that a long time ago. When you lost 3 out of your last 6 fights, and you lost to a couple of guys that it's like you really shouldn't have lost those fights. So it's like guys are squandering talent, and he could have had an undisputed or a unification with Charlo when they both had titles and everything, and he didn't do those things. Let it marinate and all of this, and you look outside and now you're not even in the loop anymore. Just wasted. And I keep saying it. People talk about, oh, he's just taking too many blows. Y'all just saw the blows he was taking in the damn fights. He been taking blows in the gym the whole damn time. I keep telling people that. It's like, and these trainers, they keep putting the guy out there like that. And if they hitting him in the fight, they hitting him in the gym.
Yeah. They don't wait to get under the lights to get punched on. They be getting punched on the whole time.
Exactly. And a lot of that has to do with not being in shape.
Yeah.
Because when you're in shape, your reaction, your reflexes and everything are sharper, quicker, everything. And you can work with knowledge, and you can work with, you know, tactical. It's like, this is how you move and this is how you get around this. And, but when you coming in you fighting at 154, but you're 175 pounds or 180 in the gym. And also you're sparring guys that you probably shouldn't be sparring, cruiserweights, maybe a couple of heavyweights. That's too big for you. You taking damage to your body. All because you don't have the discipline to stay closer to the fight weight that you fight at. Just because you could trim down to 154 doesn't mean you should blow up to 180.
Right.
How about being 160? Huh? How about that?
Staying there.
Or 165?
Staying there.
Because if you live that way, that's a discipline. And if you're under a discipline, your mind is sharper. Your body and reflexes are sharper. Your reactions, all of that goes hand in hand. But see, these guys, they don't think like that. But the old trainers used to tell their charges, this is how you do this.
Yep.
You know, Jake LaMotta used to blow up and be so out of shape when he fought. He would really trim himself down and everything, but he couldn't be the fighter that he really could be if he didn't do those things. If he didn't blow up like he did and become a fatso and stuff like that, he could have been a better fighter as a world elite fighter. In other words, his intestinal fortitude, it was very strong, his resolve, but his discipline was out the window. And that's why he would lose to certain people. He was every bit the spirit that Sugar Ray Robinson was and everything like that. But at the same time, outside the ring, you're undisciplined. And just because you can fight, you think people can't tell you nothing. James, Tony, anyone?
Don't forget the money. Don't forget the money. Because you making money. Don't forget the money.
Exactly.
All right, bro. I got to get out of here, man. I got to slide off of here, man. Thank you so much for taking my call. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Junior, man. Appreciate your support, man. Thanks.
Already.
Peace. All right. It's the brother Junior, the truth, man. Coming in, making me look good. Yep. Let's see what we got here. Pick up. Boogie woogie. I need a quick break, you guys. Give me one moment, please. I'll be right back with you.
Y'all know what it is. It's the usual suspect 650 jar. Buy your tickets now before the chance at winning half of the pie. Cash App, $, usual 50/50. Tickets on sale for $10 for one, $20 for 3 tickets, $50 for 10 tickets. Put your desired amount, name or alias, as well as your email address, and your tickets will be set. We announce the winning ticket numbers every other Friday on Stormy's Boxing Talk Bullshit on Beltway, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LBC meeting in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LBC, and remember, y'all know what it is. It's the Find the Boxer game. Purchase a box for a chance at winning $500. 154 boxes have missing boxing inside. Purchase your box or boxes by Cash App, $, usual 50/50. Include your box number, name, and email address. Your box number will be confirmed and sent directly to your email. Each box is $20. With a 1 in 54 chance of winning. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LBC meeting greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LBC, and remember,
it's a usual suspect day.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mimic work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
Yeah. So, as we come to the end of another Answering the Bell, great day for call in. You know, this was a great day. I thank everybody for checking me out today. Sorry about that little glitch a moment ago, but I guess my memory on my computer, I need to clear out some things, so it just kind of caught me in a glitch right there. But thank you all for tuning in. We had another wonderful weekend of boxing, and you know, we're gonna get on up out of here. But I want to say, as we go forward, there's going to be an opportunity for us to have some more great conversations on this sport. And we shouldn't leave that opportunity on the table. So when you get a chance to call in to the show, please do so. And we're going to do the best that we can. So with that being said, we're going to get on up out of here. But shout out to the mighty LDBC. And we'll catch you guys next week. If you're coming in late, please catch the replay. Run it back. Some great conversation here.
As you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay on here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out.